From Lions Clubs International, this is LQ, Lions Quarterly. We begin with the impact of Melvin Jones, the second in a series of centennial videos.
We, as Lions, are intensely proud of the dreamer, the doer, who conceived the idea of this organization and then proceeded to devote his entire life to the execution of the idea.
For more than 40 years, Melvin Jones provided the leadership, organizational skills, tenacity, and muscle to lay the foundation for Lions Clubs International. On January 13, 1879, Melvin Jones was born in the Arizona Territory at Fort Thomas. His father was a scout for the U.S. Army. As a boy, he moved to the Midwest, where he attended school and studied law. At the age of 20, he moved to Chicago, where he sang in the Apollo Music Club and entered the insurance business. In 1913, the Melvin Jones Insurance Agency was established, and Melvin joined the Chicago Business Circle. It was a networking and social club. He served as secretary, but had bigger aspirations.
What if these men who are successful because of their drive, intelligence, and ambition were to put their talents to work improving their communities?
He began inviting other clubs to join into one larger service organization. His wife, Rose, a top national golfer, worked many nights alongside him. From the first meeting and convention in 1917, Melvin was the driving force in shaping Lions Clubs International.
Well, we took the name Lion because it stood for courage, strength, activity, and fidelity. That was to be the platform on which Lionism was to be founded.
Melvin launched the Lions magazine in 1918. He was its first editor. He kept abreast of world events and studied other organizations, knowing it would impact the future of Lions. In 1919, Melvin had the International Association of Lions Clubs incorporated. Its first office was in Melvin's insurance agency. He often worked 7 days a week on correspondence, setting up the organizational structure and expanding membership.
Dear Cub, we have been advised that you have become a Lion. There is only one thing greater than having the privilege of being a member of a Lions Club, and that is helping to build one.
And he pushed hard.
Word has come into the office that you are desirous of closing your charter membership with not more than 50 members. I came to the conclusion that you should have at least 100 members, or possibly 150.
He started an extension program, sending organizers into the field to create new clubs. He personally attended many charter ceremonies. Nothing escaped his attention. In 1923, he outlined the charter ceremony.
The presentation of the charter should be a very serious and sublime moment. Take the president's right hand, holding the charter in your left hand.
Lions grew from 800 members at the end of the first convention to more than 32,000 in only 6 years. Melvin set the tone for the entire organization.
Come right down to the thing that I've always felt probably should be first. Unite the members in bonds of friendship, good fellowship, and mutual understanding.
And Melvin the tenor encouraged singing. But the Great Depression quieted Lions' roar. Many of the 75,000 Lions were unable to pay their dues, yet Melvin persisted, encouraging Lions leaders to hold their clubs together and to look for new members. His plan to grow internationally gained momentum in the 1930s as clubs formed across Latin America. In 1939, the Cuban government presented Melvin with the National Merit Award, the highest award given to civilians. Traveling in every fashion, From airplane to borough back, Melvin Jones visited clubs in many lands.
The Lions are keeping me humping, for they are now organizing a club a day every workday of the year.
He was a master of publicity, even using his birthday to promote Lions. By 1940, Lions had grown to more than 137,000 members in 10 countries. But soon, World War II presented challenges. Again, Melvin and the Lions pressed on.
Lions live to make this world better, not only for this generation, but for the next.
After the end of the war, there were almost 220,000 Lions in 18 countries. Writing to his nephew, an Army corporal in Manila a few weeks after the war ended, Melvin took every opportunity to expand Lions.
We have been thinking somewhat of the possibility of having Lions clubs in the Philippines. We would be interested in what you think about conditions there as of the present time.
In 1945, when the United Nations was formed, Melvin was invited to represent Lions. By that time, Lions headquarters was outgrowing its rented offices. So Melvin embarked on a plan to build the Lions International City, also known as Liondom. With the approval of the board, he purchased 200 acres of land 30 miles south of Chicago for a headquarters building, homes for employees, a library, schools, hotel, post office, and even a cemetery. In the early 50s, after years of lackluster financial backing and wavering support, the board terminated the project. Authority within the staff was redistributed, and Jones now shared power on an administrative committee. In 1954, Rose, Melvin's wife of 45 years, died. Melvin continued to focus on the association. Over the years, he was involved in every aspect of the International Convention. He believed it was an opportunity to stimulate growth and enthusiasm.
It was a great honor for me to ride on Melvin Jones' float.
He insisted on a thrilling and inspiring international night show and key member recognition, events still part of convention today. Melvin never missed an international convention. In 1956, he arrived with his new wife, Lillian.
Among the first of you to arrive was Secretary General Melvin Jones and his bride of one day.
That year, Melvin reflected on his life with Lions.
I have traveled many miles to bring Lions International to life. It was estimated that it might run to a figure of more than 200,000 miles per year for more than 30 years.
No matter how far he traveled, Melvin always remained dedicated to his local Lions clubs. He was an active member of 4 Chicago area clubs. Melvin had a way of making Lions feel special.
Melvin Jones inducted me into the Chicago Central Lions Club in the year 1958. Melvin was enthusiastic, and he was very strong, and he was larger than life.
In 1958, the Lions International Board of Directors added founder to his title of Secretary General. Even this new title could not capture his enormous impact on the association. During the 1960 Chicago Convention, he was helped from his wheelchair to acknowledge the standing ovation from Lions. When Melvin died at the age of 82 on June 1st, 1961, there were more than 625,000 Lions in 114 countries.
I hope there will always be a land of beyond for Lions International, a goal that will keep growing larger and larger as we approach it, yet will keep just out of reach, challenging us to run faster, work harder, think bigger, give more.
Jamaica is known for its beautiful beaches, warm weather, and friendly hospitality. No one would ever suspect the tropical island country is facing serious environmental threats.
One of our primary problems is the loss of forest cover.
Globally, we are losing about 360 hectares per year for a small island, that's quite a lot.
Much of the water supply in Jamaica's densely populated capital, Kingston, and surrounding areas comes from the Blue Mountains, where forests are disappearing.
We have a lot of persons who convert forest cover into different uses.
That has come about as a result of encroachment by agriculture. Up here, Blue Mountain coffee and condiments are high-valued crops. There's strong competition for land, so they encroach to the forest.
It's a culture for them also. They rely on wood for fire, and so you find them clearing the hillsides, and that opens itself to land slippages after heavy rains.
When we get heavy rains and you get whoosh and all the rains come down, the water come down, pollutes the area, pollutes our sea, and then we have problems.
The Kingston Mona Lions Club took notice of this problem and the challenges Jamaica's forestry department was trying to solve.
We felt that this was an area that we could contribute to, given the value of the forest to the country.
For more than 10 years, the Kingston Mona Lions have dedicated their time to this reforestation project. They forged a strong partnership with the Jamaica Forestry Department to reforest and maintain around 52 hectares. That's nearly 100 American football fields.
Perhaps the biggest misconception is that people may see reforestation as simply replanting trees, but it's significantly more than that.
Once we've taken on a project like this, we have the trees planted and we maintain them, which takes the greater portion of money and time and effort and nurturing.
Oh, the maintenance on this side, is it tougher or harder than when we were over by? It's harder. The forestry department does not have all the funds to deal with the thousands of acres of lands under their mandates.
Well, you're looking at about 100,000 Jamaican dollars per hectare. And what they did was get money to plant new hectares, but they also got funding to maintain the ones that they planted with the money from the Environmental Foundation of Jamaica.
The Lions were great leaders on this project. They took charge. They planned every detail.
We didn't do it alone. It was a tripartite project involving the Forestry Department, the community, and the Lions Club of Mona.
Our community stakeholders are very important. They can either make or break because sometimes they're the ones that deforest and encroach.
Members of the communities are helping us in this planting to educate and hopefully not to cut down the trees.
I must tell you, we are kind of surprised that it lasted so long and looked so good. Because, you know, even though they were planning, when you go up there, when you remember what that land looked like before, it's excellent, excellent.
This project is a tremendous example of what we can do as Lions, but more than that, it's a tremendous example of effective partnership with our community and community interest, and what that can do to make a tremendous difference.
Growing trees and making sure them survive, that's what we do out here.
As you can tell, the water's up.
These Lions in Minnesota like a challenge. In one weekend, all 9 clubs in their zone joined together for 2 important projects.
We wanted the clubs to consider a project that might be bigger than they could handle.
We have 6 clubs joining together to address the issue of erosion.
Today we are planting different grasses and plants that will help the erosion on the banks. The river is a very important part of our area culture.
We're very grateful. Having volunteers like the Lions Club that will take on these projects is absolutely critical and essential.
We are very proud to do our part for the environment, to make it look nicer for our generation and for the next generation.
I'm a lion, remember?
People like the camaraderie here when they get together and get something done.
Thank you for coming.
There are 12 stations at a table.
Hunger is a big issue. There's a lot of less well-to-do families around the area who are in need of help. Doing this food packaging will show our communities that we care.
We're doing about 10,000 bags of a macaroni cheese mix, and they will go to our local food shelves.
Thank you to all the Lions. We serve a lot of people. We have the working poor, we have fixed income seniors and people on disability, people who just can't earn enough.
Proud to do our part to erase hunger in our communities in Vine County.
I love giving back to the community. You just have a good feeling in your heart when you've done something for others.
We've had a pretty good weekend. 90 people engaged for 3 hours. That's 270 Lions hours.
It gives us pride in the job well done.
Now, let's take a look at our new disaster relief public service announcement, available online to download.
You know, I used to think Lions Club was all about just meetings and eye tests and that sort of thing. This demonstrates that you guys are big and you're out there, you're willing to help, and we just really appreciate it big time.
It's really sad, but we have to help. It's our goal.
We are often first to respond.
食料、水、医療、そして避難所を提供し、
重建这房屋、学校跟其他的建筑物。
Somos sus vecinos.
We're Lions.
Send your story suggestions to lq@lionsclubs.org. Be sure to like and share LQ on social media. LQ is available on our website, YouTube, iTunes, and DVD. Thanks for watching LQ, Lions Quarterly.